What is good, all of our listeners and viewers? Welcome to another episode of Games and Groceries. My name is Adam.
And I'm Liz.
And like it or not, my mustache is back. We are here with episode 106 with MrMattyPlays talking about creating different gaming content. But first, we've got some segments for you. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We do. We have some segments.
That's great.
But guess what? If you're here for MrMattyPlays, one, why don't you love me? And two, well, guess what? We've got some timestamps for you. So if you want to just jump ahead to any of the guests that we always have timestamps available for you, whether you want to just jump ahead to the gaming news or whatever you want to do. It's the American podcast. Do with it what you want because we love you. Liz, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I feel like this week has lasted forever.
It actually has. Yeah, it's been a long one.
I feel like it might be because my best friend is visiting on the weekend. So I think it's like that anticipation, like, oh my gosh, is it time for her to be here yet?
Yeah, just that reminds me, because she's coming over the weekend, I didn't want heavy editing over the weekend. So
yeah,
this is filmed a little bit earlier so that we could get it
a day earlier.
Yeah. So if there's any news that we missed, sorry.
Blame it on Elena.
Yeah, but
don't, because she's lovely.
Yes. I just want to say that yes, because I thought my mic cut out for a little bit, but we're here. And if you check out our other podcast, What's the Biz? She's going to be coming on the possibly.
She's been told. I was going to say we haven't asked her yet.
Yeah,
we're just going to ask her the day of. Be like, hey, want to come on? So if she's not, I mean, that means she didn't want to.
Jeez. So let's get this show started because everybody's here for our guests. They're not here for us. Ever. Nah. Anytime we have guests on, they're like,
we're lame.
But if you want to stick around, we've got a movie recommendation for you and some gaming news. But before we get to there, we're on social media, on Twitter at Gaming Groceries, or you can follow us on the individual side. I'm at Ace the Grocer.
And I'm at Journey First.
You can also follow us on Instagram, Games and Groceries, all one word, where you can see the behind-the-scenes photos, some gaming memes, announcements that we have, and whatnot, all that stuff. And check out our website. Oh, also Facebook. We're on Facebook. Check out our website, gamesandgroceries.com, where you can listen to all the podcasts from the website, as well as find out where you can listen to the audio versions of the website, as well as some articles I've written in the past. And if you haven't yet, hey, got a favor to ask of you. You're watching us on YouTube? That's cool. That's nice of you. Subscribe, please. No, I'm just kidding. If you enjoy this content, definitely subscribe so that you know when all these podcasts come out, and hit that notification bell so that you know when all of our skits come out, our little sketch videos, which you'll want to subscribe for the next one. This past one, I'm very proud of.
I'm glad.
I am. Yeah, I'm proud of you. But yeah, it's called If Halo 2 Was Made in 2020. The next one's coming out this Thursday. Is going to be with our guest, MrMattyPlays.
Yeah, it'll be a new type of editing I've never done.
Yeah, it's going to be a how-to video. So I'm very excited for this one. But so subscribe. And if you haven't yet, leave us a review on Podchaser so that we can get up in the ranks. Also, iTunes. Do that too. Give us your honest star feedback and your reviews. So with all that said and done, we're here for our podcast. So let's just get started with our first segment.
Movie Minutes.
Movie Minutes is a segment that we like to talk about the movies that we watched in the past week, whether it be on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, not in theaters just yet. And we like to review it and give you a recommendation or not a recommendation. And this week's movie is actually found on Netflix. It's actually a 2017 movie, if I can find my list. Hey, look at that. No, I don't want to exit. Get out of here. Movie Minutes, everybody. This is a professional podcast.
It is.
It's called Lady Bird. Hey! Yay. Look at me go. I forgot to change the slide before the first segment. Good job. But it's called Lady Bird. It's on Netflix. It's an A24 movie. Or is it A24? I think it's A24.
I think it's pronounced A24.
Yeah, it's an A24 flick. Came out in 2017. Opening thoughts, go.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was different. It really shows you I don't think the point of it was this, but it really shows you a genuine mother-daughter relationship. they're not best friends, but they're not absolute enemies. Like maybe it's, and I said this when we were watching it, is that I grew up in a very Irish Catholic area, and that's this family and everyone they know.
Yeah.
And so to me, like that, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's such a genuine Irish Catholic mother-daughter relationship. It
really is
so hilarious. Like, I love it because one scene they're like at each other's throats, and then next they're like, let's go shopping.
Really?
And it's great. And so I enjoy that. But I enjoyed this movie. It had some, like, it wasn't boring. It wasn't bad. It was just.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching it. That's pretty much where it ended.
So let's talk about this a little bit more. Lady Bird's character. So the main character is she names herself Lady Bird. Her real name is Christine something. I forget the last name, but
McPherson.
Yes, you're right. Christine McPherson, but she says, call me Lady Bird because I want you to call me Lady Bird.
Because she's artistic.
Her character is super unlikable to start. It's just like the film, it starts and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be rooting for Lady Bird, but I hate her. I hate her so much. But here's the thing. A lot like what I argue with Harry Potter 5, the teacher. Oh no. She's super unlikable. Harry Potter 5.
Oh, Umbridge.
Umbridge, thank you. Where everybody's like, I hate Umbridge, but the actress behind Umbridge was so believable. In the same way, I'm going to butcher her name. I'm sorry. Saoirse Ronan is the actress.
I don't know. I didn't look it up.
It is spelled Saorise.
Oh,
Saoirse Ronan. But that's the other thing.
Yeah, I can't help you on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna butcher it. Saoirse. I'm gonna call her Sarah. No, I'm just kidding. But her acting matched that.
Yeah.
She's super unlikable in the way of, the whole world is against me, so I'm against it. But that's the thing. She pulled it off.
Oh yeah, I've seen her in a couple things, and she's very good. She's a good actress.
Yeah.
She just doesn't do a ton of mainstream stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I enjoyed that I didn't enjoy her character, if that makes any sense. Because I had to think about it, and the whole screenwriting about who her character is, how it's portrayed, I'm not sure if you're supposed to root for her, and I think that's how the movie interprets it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. No? Okay.
No, I said yeah.
Okay. I didn't know what you're doing. Oh.
I'm looking her up to make sure that I'm right of what bigger movie she was in.
So as the story continues, we start to see why she has this whole, the world is against me.
Well, she's actually Irish.
Yeah. I believe it. But we start to believe, right, why the world is against her, right? And you start to see this character developments in her. Like you start to see, okay, I can get with you, but doesn't mean you need to act like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed the character.
Oh man, I hated her.
I know.
I hated every bit of her.
Hilarious that you hated her so much. I'm like, I don't mind her. I'm right. She was in Lovely Bones.
Yeah,
but she was also in Little Women and Mary Queen of Scots.
Yes. But no, I hated her character so much.
I enjoyed the character because she was so believable. Like they didn't try to like.
Oh, that's the thing. She's believable.
That's what I liked about this movie was that it was genuine characters.
Yes.
It wasn't like overplayed of like, oh, I'm an anarchist. Oh, I'm a bad mom, or I'm a mean mom. I'm a depressed. Like they didn't overdo like any of the characters. They like, this is what this person would be like in the real world. Which I enjoy. Yes. I enjoy that because you don't see that in movies. And movies are always like, oh no, we need to amp it up more.
Right.
Whereas I liked that this is a normal thing a girl like her could behave as,
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it.
Now, part of the reason why she's so I hate the world is because this all together, this is a story about why you need to be leaving your hometown. Because she's so against Sacramento. I hate Sacramento. Sacramento's the worst. It's the Midwest of California. And everybody's just trying to tell her, like, you're not as, you're not as the world is against you as you think you are. You're pretty privileged when it comes to it.
Yeah.
Your parents love you and all that. So you have a pretty sick brother and sister-in-law. But that's the thing. it's a whole thing of like you need to leave the nest to appreciate the nest.
Mm-hmm.
And I we both know how that feels.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is a story about that, and I can appreciate that in the long run. And that's the thing. Like, I hated her character, but that's the thing. Like you said, it's totally believable.
Yeah.
Completely believable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I do appreciate about it. I may have hated her, but it was reasonable.
Yeah.
So let's go into our final reviews. Out of 10 pineapples, what'd you give it?
I gave it a 5. I'm teetering more towards a 6.
Okay. I can respect that.
Because, like I said, I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed how genuine the characters were.
Yeah.
I don't know what was wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like it was so strong that it needs to be like a 10.
Yeah.
But I would give it somewhere in the range of like 6 to 7, maybe.
I'll give it a 6. It's just above average.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Definitely not a waste of time. It's an enjoyable movie that you don't need to pay every split second attention to.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half. It's fine. And it's an A24 movie, A24. It's an A24 movie, so go with it in that kind of expectation because A24 movies kind of follow the same formula.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you remember Uncut Gems and, Rover and High Life.
Oh.
Yes.
Another actress that is in this is the woman that plays Roseanne's sister in Roseanne and Sheldon's mom in Big Bang.
But yeah, it's an enjoyable movie. I recommend it.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. It's, again, called Lady Bird. It stars Sarah Reese Ronan. If I got that wrong, write it in the comments down below. But I recommend it. It's fine. It's fine. It's not going to blow you away. It's fine. Yeah. It's a fine not really coming of age. It's just a fine.
It's a mildly coming of age.
Yeah.
It shows her maturing in her mentality throughout the movie.
Yeah, I can classify it as. Yeah. But yeah, check it out for yourself if you want to do that. But if you want to take our interpretation of like, maybe I'll pass, go for it. With all that said and done, let's talk about some gaming news.
Okay.
So let's just jump into our second segment.
Top 3 gaming news.
The top 3 gaming news is the gaming news that we saw in the past week, and we like to rank it 3, 2, 1, just to give you a condensed version of, hey, what's going on in the gaming industry? What's happening? Well, let me give you a condensed version of it. What's happening, Liz?
I don't know.
Well, I'm going to tell you. Top 3 gaming news.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, like I said, we're recording this a little bit early, so if there's news I missed out on.
But we have some pretty good ones.
Yeah.
So.
But let's talk about the number 3 gaming news is EA coming out with a Star Wars game, and it's called Rogue Squadron.
Woohoo.
Whoa, look at that, everybody. It's nice. But yeah, it's called Rogue Squadron. Or just Squadrons, actually. Just Squadrons, I believe it's called. Star Wars Squadrons. It is a flight game. It is going to be $40.
That's not bad.
Apparently, no microtransactions.
That's lovely.
Which is bananas. And let me just read this quote right here. It's pretty stellar. Players will unlock new weapons, hulls, engines, and shields as they rank up. Again, going into no microtransactions. The cosmetic items, meanwhile, can be applied to your cockpit and ship exterior. While you can also change the look of your fighter pilot, Squadrons will take players to never-before-seen parts of the Star Wars galaxy, including Yavin Prime and Galatan.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's going to be a $40 game. Flight simulator. There's going to be a story involved.
Cool.
Now, hang on there. I know, I thought it was cool too, until we found out it's the same writer behind Battlefront 2, which was the most dry cookie cutter story there was. And I'm like, oh.
Maybe he'll redeem himself.
Maybe. We'll see. But there's also going to be a 5v5 multiplayer battles with your fighter pilots. The story is actually going to be going back and forth between the rogues and the Imperials, right? So, you know, boil it down to good guys, bad guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's going to be releasing October 2nd, 2020, multi-platform. I believe they said cross-platform too. So that's pretty cool. I believe. Not sure. Liz, what do you think?
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds exciting.
Yeah, $40.
Yeah,
no microtransactions.
$40. Like, wow.
$40. Oh, so is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Remastered, but I'm not excited about that. Coming out September something.
You're not that excited then.
Yeah, it's coming out September 7th, I want to say. But anyways, this game, Star Wars Squadron, coming out October 2nd. I think this makes the news because when I heard about it, it sounded to me a lot like Battlefront 2, but fixed.
Yeah.
So it's going to fix your microtransaction issues. It's going to be fixing the multiplayer battling. And it's going to be a new setting. And apparently this is going to be set. The story is going to be set after the Battle of Endor in episode 6. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm cool for it. We'll get to see a little bit more news as we go along. But for $40 with no microtransactions.
That's pretty awesome.
Seemingly, by the way. There might be surprise mechanics, but who knows? Surprise microtransactions.
It is 2020.
It is 2020. But yeah, so pretty excited for this.
Yeah.
Speaking of a new game announcement, we got our second piece of gaming news, which is a new Pokemon Snap. Look at that. It's a lasagna.
A lasagna?
Yeah, his name's Lasagna.
Did you just come up with that?
No. Lapras.
There you go.
Lasagna.
That's not the same.
I'm pretty sure the Pokemon's name is Lasagna. But yes, there is a new Pokemon Snap coming out for the Nintendo Switch. There is no release date yet. By the way, any quote I'm saying right now, like the quote I'm about to tell you right now, all the articles are linked down below in the description, whether you're listening on audio or watching us on YouTube. But, you get some extra articles if you subscribe. No, I'm just kidding. That's a lie. But let me read this quote. All the articles linked down below if you want to read for yourself. But this article says, I believe it's from The Verge. Travel to unknown islands with beautiful scenery like lush jungles and sandy beaches. The Pokemon pictures you take there will be used to build your very own Pokemon Pokedex, or Photodex, my bad. This brand new game brings the gameplay of the 1999 Pokemon Snap game from the Nintendo 64 system to life on the Nintendo Switch system. Unknown islands to discover and different Pokemon to see.
Well, they've come out with a lot more Pokemon since 1999, I think it said.
Yeah, 99 with Lasagna coming out. With I can't think of a name for Squirtle because he's too adorable. But anyways, Squirrel. Like Squirrel sitting on a piece of lasagna. Isn't that cute? Anyways, but here's the thing. Arlo made a good point on YouTube, and I watched his video on it, and he seems to be on something. Why are they calling this new Pokemon Snap and not call it Pokemon Snap 2?
I don't know.
He had a good point and saying that, like, why is it the old gen? He's thinking that it's going to be the very same game that we played with up-res graphics.
And more Pokemon.
Yeah. I don't think the article even says more Pokemon. It just says, let me read this quote again. I don't even think it said that. Brand new, blah, 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 with unknown islands and different Pokemon. It doesn't say new. It says different Pokemon. So you could be just seeing the same old squirrels on lasagna as you were seeing before.
I love that game. We have the original.
Yeah, that's the thing. The original is fine. It's good. Yeah. It's a good game. It's a classic. Yeah. But actually, I'll have to ask Maddie about that because I think he said Pokemon Snap is trash. So I'll have to confirm on that. Yeah, I know.
What's wrong with him?
Well, we'll find out later on. But yeah, so I believe he said that. But that's the thing. The classic was fine. It was good. It was good. Yeah. I liked it. Please don't shoot me. But to have the same game that we played in 1999.
Because I already know, like, the first 2 levels of that game.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just, like, cool, up-res. But when you put on new Pokemon Snap, why not just call it Pokemon Snap Remastered if that's going to be what it is?
Yeah.
You know?
I guess we'll find out.
That's the thing. We haven't gotten much details about it. Just that this came through a Twitter post on Wednesday morning. Like, literally, I was going through Twitter and I see I see Wario64 tweet about it, and I'm like, wait, is there a Pokemon Direct I'm missing? It's like, no. There's no Pokemon. I went on YouTube like, Nintendo. No, there's no.
They just felt like Here you go.
Yeah, along with Pokemon Smile. Tells you how to brush your teeth.
That's adorable.
It is adorable. Also, Pokemon Snap! It's like, okay, we're going to put out a teeth cleaning, a little jargon, along with Pokemon Snap.
It was a kid's day.
It was a kid's day. It was...
Even though most adults are going to be who's playing this.
Yeah, really. I'm going to be the one
Let me go relive my childhood.
Oh, I thought you meant Pokemon Smile. I need to learn how to brush my teeth.
That's not good.
Did you see my teeth, how yellow they are? They are yellow as the sun. So, the number one gaming, let's just get into that. This just came out this past week, which is why it's called the top 3 gaming news, because we saw it in the last week, and it's about Cyberpunk 2077.
Woohoo!
Not really woohoo, because actually kind of woohoo. It's actually good news. Cyberpunk 2077 is delayed.
Oh.
Again.
Oh.
For the second time. Probably the third time, actually, now I think about it. Because this was announced, I want to say Cyberpunk was announced 2016? I'm dead wrong about that. I can't remember when it was first, but it was announced a long time ago.
I only remember last year's announcement.
It was there. They kind of said like, "Oh, CD Projekt Red, we have a new project, and it kind of looks like this." And then we get like a really cool trailer. Keanu Reeves is in it, and then it was delayed. So yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 delayed again from September to November.
Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah,
just in time for the holidays, guys. So everyone's playing. Put it out right before the holidays.
But this is the second time this year, because it was originally supposed to come out April 2020. Then it moved to September.
Well, that one was understandable.
Yeah. And then it moved to November. And let me read this quote right here from their Twitter, but I just have the quote from the article, but it's from their Twitter post. By the way, link down below. They also linked the tweet, so check it out. At the time, this is CD Projekt Red talking. At the time we are writing these words, Cyberpunk 2077 is finished both content and gameplay wise, the company stated, but with such an abundance of content and complex systems interweaving with each other, we, CD Projekt Red, need to properly go through everything, balance the game mechanics, and fix a lot of bugs. So what they're doing, it sounds like they're just going to go through, everything's finished. It's a complete game. They can ship it out tomorrow, apparently. But they want time to comb through everything.
There better not be a day one patch.
That's the thing.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this better not, there better not have to, this better not come out glitchy. It better not come out with a day one patch. This better be actually ready, because this tells me that they didn't delay it because of the virus. They delayed it because it was not ready in April.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah, maybe. Huh. Weird. But yeah, that's the thing, is that, like you said, it doesn't sound like they're being perfectionists in the way Hideo Kojima is, because Hideo Kojima treats his games like babies. That they're never ready. It needs to be perfect, and he always just does finishing touches. It sounds like what CD Projekt Red is doing is that, listen, we got the game. It's pretty big. It's a big game. We just want to know that there's always going to be a day one patch, but is it going to be 11 gigabytes or just 1 gigabyte?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a difference. It still shouldn't be, though. There should never be a game with a day one patch.
No, never. But that's the thing. It just sounds like they're just trying to comb through things and understand the game, and I can applaud that.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're always on the camp of releasing a fully finished game and not a buggy mess that's half done and not ready.
Plus, I will be busy with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Remastered anyway in September, coming out September 7th. And
are we gonna get Tony Hawk Pro Skater for my birthday? Is that your gift?
What? No, me. That's
what I mean. Are you getting yourself Tony Hawk for my birthay?
Your birthday is in August. Stay out of September. September doesn't want you.
It is the last day of August. Okay, I get a little bit of September.
Tony Hawk for me. But anyways.
Jeez, I don't want to play Tony Hawk.
Well, good. It's for me. Me. And Cyberpunk, get out of here. No, go away. Get it out of September. Go to November.
Did.
Yeah, I know. And it was just like, oh no, Tony Hawk's coming out. We can't compete with Tony Hawk.
Okay.
We better go to November because Tony Hawk's coming
That's exactly why.
Not just Tony Hawk, the very first Tony Hawk that came out in 97? Something like that.
Long time ago.
No, wait. What didn't come out? Anyways. But yeah, it can't compete. But yeah, you're here for Mr. Matty Plays. You're here.
Yeah.
But what do you think about these gaming news? Write it down in the comments down below. All three Star Wars Squadrons. Are you going to play it? $40, no microtransactions. Does that seem cool to you? Write it down below. Pokemon Snap, is it going to be a sequel? Is it going to be the same exact game? What do you think? Put your comments down below. And for CD Projekt Red to delay it, is this a smart move? Do you really think it can't compete with Tony Hawk? I don't think it can. We all know that Tony Hawk's no, I'm just kidding. I'm so stupid. But yeah, write it all comments down below if you're watching us on YouTube. But with all that said and done,
Okay, dear.
all that said and done, we've got a special guest coming on.
We do.
Yeah, my boy Matty, he's coming on.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
I know.
Yeah, Matty Plays. And we're going to be talking about creating different kinds of gaming contents.
There you go.
Good job, Adam. But yeah, without delaying anything, you're here for him. You probably already fast forwarded to the next segment anyway, because you don't want to hear me talk. Let's just bring him on. Mr. Matty Plays.
Woo! Coffee time.
All right, everybody, we are back with our boy Matty from Mr. Matty Plays.
I'm not joining this clapping. All right. Hello.
Maddie, come on. You're about to be part of the show and you don't know how to clap? Come on, Maddie.
I don't know how sensitive my mic is compared to you guys, so I was just giving a little clap.
Maddie, you're here. You're on the show again.
Yes.
Second time. Last time was on we were just talking about this, episode 60,
Wow.
which is nuts, but
Far too long.
it has been far too long. I don't know. You keep dodging my calls or anything like that,
Oh my
but
goodness.
but
Sorry, man. Busy guy.
you're a busy guy, Oh, Maddie, I also have this buy mango. You want to give it a try?
I would love to,
Yeah.
quite frankly, because I just finished my water. And I just
no.
realized, oh man, I gotta be smart with how I speak this episode. And plus, you were telling me how that drink coats your throat in a special way that I really need for when I'm a screechy guy. I'm gonna be honest.
Mhm.
So whenever I'm streaming and stuff,
Have you
I
tried
need
it yet?
I need a drink that can just get me going.
But yeah, no, the coconut one, I definitely think you should try because I'm drinking the mango right now. It's a little bit more thin, but the coconut ones, they coat your throat really nice. I definitely recommend it.
See, my problem
Not
with
sponsored by by the way,
my
but if they want to.
problem with Bai is that it's almost too strong for me.
Yeah.
Like their flavors are very bam, mango. And I don't
Really?
like it. For me, because I had
Don't listen to her, Maddie.
I
It's
had
a
the-
good drink.
Shush, I had the raspberry iced tea, and it almost tasted more like raspberry juice with tea. Like it was
Okay.
very fruity for a
Mhm.
raspberry iced tea. So I was
Kind of
like,
reminds me of Nestle has this water, and it's like, oh, we don't have sweeteners in it or anything, and
Mhm.
so it was like a grape flavored water, and I'm thinking it's going to be like the sparkling water where
Mhm.
you get a little taste, but you still know it's seltzer. And I
Mhm.
try this Nestle grape water, and it's like I'm drinking grape juice. It was
Oh my
it was
goodness.
insane. But see, in my
Jeez.
case, my mind was blown. I was like, this is great.
Oh
I
no,
love
yeah,
it.
that sounds amazing.
No, I love buys. They're so good. But before we get to our discussion, we have another talking point that we need to bring up.
What's that?
So we talked about Pokemon Snap in the
Yes,
segment before.
Yes. Oh yes.
I told you that Maddie says that Pokemon Snap is trash, and we need to confirm. Maddie, did you say that Pokemon Snap is trash?
Can confirm. Yeah.
Oh no!
What? Why?
Why is it trash?
So my perspective is this, and yeah, don't worry. I've had this debate with my girlfriend, and I didn't put my opinion out on Twitter because I know I'm very alone on this.
Mhm.
But the way I look at it is, Pokemon Snap is pretty much, if you took out the fighting, the exploration, and you just said, here's a camera. That's literally all it is, and it's a great chill game, I'm sure. But for me, I just can't warrant spending like $60 to walk around an island on rails and take little photos. I just think it's one of the most uninventive ideas for a Pokemon game. When you look at some of the spin-offs, like the
Yeah.
dungeon crawlers, the turn-taking
Mhm.
RPGs, you can play as like a ranger. Like there's so many cool ideas, and they're like the most popular one, or Stadium. I forgot about that.
Mhm.
And their most popular one is where you take photos. It blows my mind. It really does. I know I'm so isolated on that, but It really shocks me.
I can agree with it not being worth $60. When it came out on the Nintendo 64, it was definitely not $60.
It was $50. It would have been.
Really?
Yeah, but
I'm just thinking, like, in my perspective, I had that game and we didn't have a ton of money. I just don't, unless someone else.
Yeah, because you bought Pokemon Snap. Everybody caught on. Awesome.
I can't.
It took me a sec.
Just giving the badge, comedy genius. Thank you very much. No. But yeah, so it's confirms that Maddie needs a buy and Maddie needs to be educated on Pokemon Snap. But it is what it is. But Maddie, we wanted to bring you on because you, of course, are a gaming YouTuber. Is that correct? Can we confirm?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I would say so. Dabble in makeup every now and then, but yeah.
Yeah, you dabble in it on the weekends, yeah. But but I want to talk more about creating different kinds of gaming content because we talk about it all the time, right? That there's a certain aspect about starting a gaming channel that has almost this expectation, right? That's you need to be this certain way. You need to follow these rules to make a good gaming YouTube video or podcast. What's up, gaming podcast crew? But there needs to be some kind of definition of creating something different, right? So let's start off our conversation by talking about the crowded market in the YouTube podcasting landscape. Maddie, on your opinion, right? Coming close on that 1 million subscriber counts, real close. But coming closer on that 400K, which, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to him, you're committing a crime, but it's what it is. Yeah,
thank you.
You're welcome. I will arrest them all. But Maddie, on your opinion, how crowded is this market of the gaming YouTube landscape?
Oh man, yeah, it's pretty packed now. There was a lull where you could get in, but what's interesting, I view it as it's crowded now, but there's always new games coming out, so there's new communities being formed, and there's people always looking for like a new leader for their respective communities. So while it is very crowded and joining something that already exists, like I really like Persona, I'd love to be a Persona YouTuber, just like I said, as a hypothetical, it's really hard to get in there because there's so many people already established, but there's new things coming out monthly, and you can kind of become a leader of that. And it can segue into other parts. But yeah, in answer to the question, it's super crowded. It's hard to get started for sure.
Yeah, I can attest to that because the reason why I liked having your perspective on this is because you've quote unquote made it, right? In my opinion, you've made it. You've gotten your niche, whereas we've only gotten the 70 subscribers, 68. I'm sorry, but
close enough.
You're all little gems in my eyes, but. It's this different contrasting outlets, right? Where you would like to be that Persona. By the way, check out his video, The Future of Persona, masterpiece. Oh, yeah, Mamma Mia, that's a spicy meatball. Persona, but it's this really good video explaining the Persona universe, and like you said, it's crowded, but you have that, you have more of that. What do I want to say? I don't want to say leverage on YouTube because it's not like you have that. But
wait,
yeah, you have more of a weight. Whereas, not trying to say it's easier for you.
I'd say it is though. That's fair to swing into other areas when you already have like a following. You get that that natural. You're kind of seeing because you mentioned the project. I'll use it as an example. The Future Persona video, like it started off, quite frankly, really bad. It was like we spent months on it, and it was 2,000 in one day. But I think because of like two things. Number one, I have a check next to my name. We know that carries a lot of weight. It really does, sadly. And it plays into the algorithm. I upload 10 plus minute videos every day, and since I've already established myself, it's definitely fair to say that now it's starting to pick up. It's nearing 20K at this point, where it's a little bit easier to definitely segue somewhere else. Obviously, if you like completely abandon, like if I started making Call of Duty videos, I don't think that would go too well. But I think it's totally fair to suggest that, if you're like already somewhat relevant, I think would be the best word to describe it, that you can probably shift over a little bit easier.
Yeah. And not to say that like automatically you got your subscribers because again, we were talking about this before we recorded that, I followed you since 2015, about 2015, 2016. And I remember that shift you took from Bethesda, where you were mostly Bethesda, and then you took a shift. And we talked about this a little bit on the last podcast, but you took that shift into other games, right? And it was a little bit easier for you to get, not automatically, and we talked about it a little bit. You're still getting there, but yeah, once you have that check mark, the view count, the subscriber counts, it's a crowded market. But then for up and coming YouTubers like your boy, I still remember when the last time we had you on, we had one particular comment that said, man, with the subscriber count and the view count, I thought this was going to be trash, but wow, you actually pulled it off. And I was like, oh, thank you.
Gee,
but
thanks.
Yeah, I was like,
question mark.
Number one, ouch. Number two, thanks. But yeah, no, it really is. Like, if I made that same video, right? First of all, I know nothing about Persona, so it would be a garbage video. Second of all, like, you would see the sub counts and you'd be like, it's probably going to be, not that high quality, right? But it's still that crowded market that we all have to go through. Like, all of us have to go through. It doesn't matter if you have 68. What's up, boys? All 68 of you.
They're not all boys.
What's up, people?
There you go.
What if some of them are goats, though?
Everyone.
Group of goats. Got it.
No, just
you just called all of our subscribers goats.
No,
Good for you, Liz.
Did.
But,
You're an idiot.
Maddie, back me up here. But,
I got you, man.
Thank you, Maddie.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's why me and Maddie are boys. But is what it is. But
where's Floki? He loves me.
Yeah, he's over there. But yeah, no. That's the thing. It's definitely that crowded market that we have to get into, but by that crowded market, Maddie, you kind of picked up on this a little bit, where you could make your own certain corner of the internet. Let's say you want to become a Persona gaming YouTuber, right? When you become a cookie cutter Persona, I don't know what that would look like, but I've seen it with even Bethesda cookie cutter or any kind of gaming, right? When you become that cookie cutter, I don't think that's really helping your odds either. By following the rules of the algorithm, by following the rules of how videos are made. But again, I want to bring it back to Maddie because, again, he's up there. But what would you think about that? Would you think that someone who's following the rules will make it easier, or just somebody who's trying to do something different will cut that corner out of the crowd and make your own kind of community? What do you think?
You can only have so much foresight. I guess it depends on what you see yourself being happiest with. Some people really just want to grind to the top and be like millions and millions of fans. And I wouldn't mind hitting like 1 million subscribers, but I don't really desire two things out of this. Like, one is to be that multi-million follower channel. While as cool as it would be, I feel like it just wouldn't fit what I do and what I like to do. The other is just like getting rich off of this. Like, I just want to be enjoying what I do and living comfortably doing that. To answer your question, like I said, I think it depends on the comfort level. Like, if you want to rise to the top, yeah, you might want to cookie cutter it up a little bit. You might want to follow the rules, 10 plus minute videos every single day. Put your face in your thumbnails, put your face in your videos, which I've recently learned in the last 2 months plays a really big factor. That's the other thing. You got to always be learning. But if you're okay saying like, we'll just keep rolling with the Persona example. I really like Persona. I want to just do Persona things, and I'm happy doing Let's Plays and reviews and impressions and news updates and what have you on Persona. And I'm happy being like 200,000, 300,000 subscribers, maybe even less than that, and it just stays as a hobby. You're in control of that much, at least. Like how far do you want to go? Like, you can set that from the get-go, because I think you'll know pretty quickly when you sit down to edit a video after spending a lot of time recording and everything, how much do I really like doing this part, right? Because everyone sees the finished product. They see the video of you like jumping around, having a good time, or being real with the audience and all that stuff. They see the finished product, but they don't sometimes, and people are more knowledgeable about it, but they don't see everything that goes into making it. And so I guess I think in a long-winded response, sorry, I just think it's about what you're willing to accept, really.
No, yeah, and go for it for the long-winded responses. I mean, people are only here for Maddie. They're not really here for me.
Yeah.
As I said,
not
You I love how you don't even include me. That you're like, oh yeah, they're not here for me. They're like, nah, whatever about Liz. No one's here for Liz.
To be fair, I'm an only child, so everything is all about me.
But you've come so far.
I have, but
don't backslide.
I have to backslide, but
why?
Because I'm an only child. It's in my nature. But it is what it is.
We'll get you trained one day.
Oh, thank you. But what was I going to go with that? What you were saying with that, by the way, with the whole editing thing, I felt that hard because that when we were making the big video essays, right? They literally took a month for us, and it was just we filmed for one day for maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours if we were just like really hard on ourselves. And then the rest of that time was just editing.
All editing.
And you see this 20-minute video, it's just like, oh yeah, why did it take a month? I'm like, well, one, full-time jobs.
Yeah.
And two, it just the editing can just take so much work.
Especially when you put in the green screen aspect. Like that makes it even longer. Like this past skit that we did took me longer than other one.
Yeah.
Because I had to deal with blending in the green screen, which is not fun.
Yeah.
I don't know what settings are in. You guys said you use Premiere Pro, right?
Yeah, you're a Vegas man.
Yeah, I'm sadly a Vegas man. So like the settings they have when you do the chroma key is like high threshold, low threshold, and and blur. And that's really all you've got to work with to
goodness.
like get
you need
to
get Premiere.
Out.
Maddie, get Premiere Pro.
Because in Premiere Pro, so there's different keys. There's color key, ultra key, other keys I don't know how to use. But they have like they have a bunch of this, like you can control the shadows, the highlights, the like you can choke and soften and desaturate and luminescence and everything. It has so much.
Yeah.
So much control.
That sounds nice.
Exactly. Because you make your thumbnails off of Photoshop, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, it's funny. I wonder if anyone ever like looks at them and thinks of the process. I'll literally like stand against a blank wall, get into a pose of some kind, like, oh, I'm pointing over here, and then literally drop that whole photo in Photoshop and lasso tool myself out and clean up any edges with the eraser.
Wait,
and just
Maddie, are you telling me you're not using the pen tool?
No, why?
Oh man. No,
I'm old school. I think that's part of my issue. I'm old school.
Yeah, right. No. They look good though. I'm not just saying that because fan and also boys, but that's the thing. Like your thumbnails have also evolved too, and even that doing a different kind of thumbnail.
Yeah.
Right. That can be dangerous too. Yeah. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I mean, lassoing it back to the topic at hand.
Wow, you're on a roll tonight.
Whoa, someone's calling me. Podcast Hall of Fame.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I will gladly be in their hall.
What do your puns have to do with podcasting?
Hold on. My wife is nagging me.
I'm going to kick you.
Oh, no. But, yeah, no. Talking about the different thumbnails. Maddie, I still remember when you were doing thumbnails and you included the Pip Boys, or the Vault Boy. Vault Boy, yeah. Pip Boy is the little bad boy that goes on your wrist.
There you go.
But I remember you put the Vault Boy in, and I remember you made a point that you put those Vault Boys in because that signified a Maddie thumbnail, right? When people put that in, I know that's Maddie right there. And then you went, you transitioned your thumbnails even to make that different corner instead of just oversaturize, putting the Fortnite XPs all over your, even the thumbnails can be a little bit different. Maddie, talk about your process in making thumbnails other than the lasso tool.
It's one of my favorite parts. I know a lot of people like dread the thumbnail creation. I like it. And it's probably because, like you mentioned, I've changed them up so many times. The format I have now, I'm probably going to stick with. But yeah, I did the Vault Boy for a while, and the Vault Boy kind of had the same theme I do with my face now, and like what I'm pointing at or whatever, or my expressions in general. Just because I'd always find a vault. Like my theory was always there's a Vault Boy for everything, and so I kind of just have that mindset now when I make my thumbnails. But what's sad about thumbnails is sometimes that will determine your video success. Like your video can be top notch, but just about catching enough people's eye. And so my big persona project, we finished the script, right? We spent months working on that, getting the gameplay, going back and forth with his editor for about a week straight. And like he's getting it ready the night before he was rendering it the night before it had launched. And my friends and I were like, oh my God, a thumbnail. And so my mindset for a project like that was, okay, we need to do something different. If I just have me pointing at like Persona's box art, like it's just another Matty video. Or it's more of what you've expected and have seen, and that's fine, but this video is different. So you have to have that mindset. For me, at least, I have the mindset of like, how do you portray what this is fairly to your audience without making them feel ripped off? Because the worst thing is getting hate clicks. A lot of people, even like larger YouTubers, which you could see just by easily looking at their channel, will like pretty much trick or like carefully label their videos to like tiptoe around what actually is happening, but it garners more views. And maybe that's a key to like quick dead sub growth, but like I'm just all about the organic process of like interacting with them, like getting them involved, and not just what I'm doing in that video, but more, and then like maybe streams, that type of stuff. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. When it comes to creating thumbnails, I originally had the template of kind of like a folded letter, I'd call it. Like you'd have the banner at the top, it would have the game or the company, and then I have a little like box of text saying just a quick thing like tons of new information or just something like that, and a nice screenshot on the right. And it was a good presentation, but that was when I definitely felt like it portrayed to the viewer instantly what it was, and you knew it was my video, but it definitely felt cookie cutter. That was my issue. I was like, okay, I'm putting in a logo, text, what picture has a character on the right side of it, and that was literally it. And eventually I just started to adopt the mindset of getting some scenery from whatever game I'm talking about. So today I did a Cyberpunk video, so I got Night City. I dimmed the background a little bit. I put my face to, I was for unlike many people, I was disappointed in the delay. I was in a state of like, all right, like I understand why it's happening. I'm fine it's happening. I'm glad the game will be better.
But the delay for 2 months, it's just like, it's a kick in the mouth.
Exactly. And it's so, in the scheme of things, it's so soon when everyone was expecting September. So I found it disappointing. So my face was just like straight in the thumbnail. I'm like, okay, now people know it's disappointment. They know what they're getting into. They know this is my response emotionally to the news. And then I put like a little picture of what I'll be referencing, the logo, and just a little text. And so ultimately my process is just, how do you not overcrowd it, overdo it, where you look like a Photoshop montage of just like, you're just throwing everything in there, but keeping it clean. Like I definitely don't look like a whiz in Photoshop, but I just have enough to like visually identify what you'll be watching and kind of what to expect. That's overall my process.
Yeah, I don't think enough people understand the struggle of trying to make that thumbnail, because like what you say, like especially for your audience, you want to make sure that they know that they're clicking on a Matty video but portraying the right way. Me, on the other hand, I'm trying to get through that with a thumbnail that pops, right? And even this last video, if Halo 2 was made in 2020, go check it out if you haven't. But thank you. But from the expert over here. But no, like with that, I showed Liz. I was like, what do you think of this? She's like, that's good. I'm like, I need to be a little bit smaller. Like I will go through like the height and where I am and even the inner glow of where I am. And I'm just like, it's still not perfect, but it portrays the right thing. But it's really funny because I'll take maybe 5 to 10 pictures of myself, doing different.
Same.
Yeah, right. It's just like you always take that different one and you're just scrolling through yourself like a weirdo. And I'm just like, this is the face. I like my face here.
You're not wrong though.
Right.
You mentioned something interesting when you talked about like asking Liz, and I was thinking to myself, what I always do, because I don't live with my girlfriend yet, is I'll now I'm a little more confident in my process, but when I was transitioning around April into putting my face in things, and do I look like too much of your, because we talked a little bit about cookie cutting, and you can even do that in your thumbnails where like every thumbnail you're like, oh, like, you know, that type of stuff.
Yes.
Definitely want to steer away from. There's a stereotype there. I think people know I put effort into my thumbnails because I have like a different outfit on every time, and I'm like gesturing towards whatever's happening. But I will always take a picture of my thumbnail and send it to Laylee. I'll always see, you know, what she thinks of it, because it was her idea in the first place. A lot of people are like, Maddie, you're doing a great job because you're interacting more and your face is there more, and, you know, your thumbnails are great. I'm like, hats off to my girlfriend. She's the one who really like fixed me. And if I'm honest, because I'd complained to her so much. And I feel like, I don't get why this isn't doing well. I don't get this. What's happening? I'm upset. And she's like, did you try putting your face in? No.
Yeah.
Try it. Stubborn me? No, it's not the way. I can be a microphone guy. It's fine. I was wrong. So, you know, that's one thing that you could definitely do if you're like an up and coming creator. Your thumbnail is really as important as the video. It's sad. It's a sad reality, but it's true. And, you know, it could go for you, Adam, like when you're making a thumbnail, if you want to send it my way, like just saying like, hey, does this catch your eye? Because I just have this natural instinct when I'm scrolling to be like, okay, did that get me to stop and be like, what is that? That's all you want. You just want them to pause.
Exactly.
And, so I send them to my girlfriend all the time, to the point where she's probably annoyed and regrets telling me what to do with my thumbnails.
Well, that's the thing.
It's a job.
That's the thing. And like, you know, a little behind the curtain for you boys. But like, I get super, super, super hard on myself. Like, that's the thing. It's not that I'm not my own worst critic, but I am, though.
You are.
Low
but
key.
That's not the point.
But like, I totally compete against myself. I don't compete against any other YouTuber. I compete against myself. And so the only reason why I only show Liz it and not my other friends the thumbnails is only because like they say anything negative in the wrong way, and he'll
think about it for the next month.
I will lose sleep. And it's just like, that's the thing. It's not that I'm hard on myself. It's just like I lost to myself.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. It's just like I'm super, super competitive, which is why your boy doesn't really play competitive basketball anymore, because Liz pointed out that I get a little bit scary. But here I am. I'm friendly now. Hey. But no, I get super, super competitive, and it's really only to myself. And I get that with some people that just like YouTube can be a competition for them, and it really shouldn't be in the way they're thinking of it. Like, yes, you're trying to break through, but if you're trying to, like, let's say I'm trying to compete against Maddie. First of all, I would lose. Second of all,
Come on.
it's just like, I don't know. I'm super competitive, but if I start to think of the channel as competing against Maddie to differentiate myself, then I'll start to follow what Maddie's doing, and I won't be differentiating myself, because like if you start to, you know, compete against somebody else, you're inevitably going to steal from their playbook. And that's the thing. I'm going to start making Maddie thumbnails and, you know, using lasso tools and stuff.
What?
But that's the thing. Yeah, does that make sense at all?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I've been caught in that mindset, man. Like where I'll be in the same community as someone, seeing what they're doing, and you're not like directly competing with them, but you know you're in the same audience, and if they're doing really well and maybe you're not doing as well, like you said, take them from their playbook, almost seeing what they're up to without like directly ripping them off. And I've been the victim of complete ripoffs of either statements or like direct quotes or like thumbnails or video stuff. Like I've seen it all, man, and like it's ridiculous. But yeah, like it's that's the issue, is that it's hard to like try to inspect your fellow creator and go and just keep an even mind with yourself, at least for me, and go like, all right, it's not a competition. Like, just, you know, that's why I focus on a lot of my own content, just because I feel like once I start to go out and like look at other things, I start to think of what I'm not doing, and I start to forget that I'm doing either just fine or enough, or I lose focus of like big projects. Like, just, you know, that's how I become my worst enemy, because you almost, comparison will make you forget your own success. So
yes,
it's one of those things where you can stumble easily. And I've gradually like tore it out of my system almost forcefully, because I just think it's such a bad habit to have, to be like, you can't, like, I want to be the guy, and I am now, but like I wasn't, where it was like really hard for me to be like, oh, like hats off, like this person's doing well. For me, it was like, why am I not doing well? And that's selfish, you know? And so it's a little bit hard to break out of that comparative game, but I think pretty much every creator has to struggle with it, whether it's comparing against themselves, which that's kind of my game now, or comparing against their fellow creators, I guess.
And I like that term, you know, your fellow creators, not your competition.
Yeah.
I think Twitch is a lot more of a competitive mindset than YouTube, because you're really competing for people to get on your live stream, like right now. But in terms of YouTube and podcasting, you know,
people can watch multiple YouTubers.
Yeah, no, it's just like it really comes down to, you know, building that trust with your community, right? And you were saying something, Maddie, and it just like came to think of something. I can't remember what I was thinking about, but it happens a lot when I'm, you know, I'm only halfway through my buy, so yeah, brain's not working well. But no, like really good points though. In terms of like competing, you're almost become your worst enemy at that point, instead of like building off of your success. Like right now, I'm having a lot of fun just having only 68 subscribers, because I feel like the struggle for having that big of an audience and trying to switch into something different, right? And trying to slice yourself out, is that your audience subscribed for something.
Yeah.
Whereas me,
we can still play with what we're doing, figure out what we really want to do, what we enjoy.
Yeah, because so I don't know why this video is doing so well. Well, for our standards. Yeah. But the Life is Strange ranked video.
Well, you know why that's doing well.
I know
People
why.
love ranked videos.
Yeah, algorithm loves ranked videos. But it just keeps coming up, and they keep commenting and they keep subscribing. I'm like, that's literally
this isn't what we do.
Yeah, that's literally the only ranked video. And we did it on a whim. That's fantastic. And I hate ranking games too. Like I
call them necessary evils.
Yeah.
That's what I call them.
Yeah.
I'm just like, great. I hate ranking videos, but this is the best one doing it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Yeah. Like, you really could just go off of your most trending video, and you could do that. But like, we made that video, and we had a struggle even making that list. We could just, you know, hate ourselves and just go for it. But we know that doing stupid sketches where I have a mustache and I hand Master Chief a butter knife, that's the video I want to make.
That's what we want to do.
Exactly. But no, yeah, but I have that freedom now. Like, we both have that freedom that we can just do whatever we want.
Yeah.
But like, as soon as you hit that subscriber count, like you almost have to stick to a path. It's weird, but like, if you really want to cut your own corner of the internet, it's almost like a better advantage for people who don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, no, like it's definitely a blessing, and that's why we like play around with what we want to do.
Yeah.
Like this next sketch video is definitely going to be different, and I'm very much looking forward to it. But yeah, it might have a special cameo.
It will be interesting.
It is going to be interesting. But yeah, no. We're at a good time frame here, and then we'll talk a little bit more. But I want to get into some social media answers about cookie cutter gaming channels, and then maybe like closing out with some like other points with here. But I asked you on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. By the way, if you want to follow us on Twitter, hi, how you doing? My name's Adam, and we're on Twitter at Gaming Groceries, but we're also on Instagram. What's the Instagram?
I don't know.
No, you're right. It is. It's Games and Groceries, all one word. But check us out on Facebook. How do you find us on Facebook?
Just type in Games and Groceries.
Yeah, just type in Games and Groceries into that wastebasket of a social media platform. But
also entertaining.
Still love that name. Groceries. It's one of my favorite names, man. I love it. It stuck out immediately. Like when you would like tweet at me, I'd see it and be like, man, I like that name. Like,
Games
that's
and Groceries.
As a 40-year-old living in a 24-year-old's body. I just I feel good to you guys, by the way. But I'm just saying, like, I love grocery shopping and all that.
Oh
like,
yeah,
cooking and stuff. Like, it's just fun adult things that I'll probably
is.
abhor down the line. But for now, I like them.
And that's the thing. That's why I liked naming it that before we even named it. And that's the other thing. We focused on the name catching you and sticks with you. It's not too complicated. But it also, differentiates yourself. And I wanted to be, I don't know if it's an alliteration. Maybe I just failed English, but I wanted something that's GG or games and something, and you immediately stick to it.
Yeah.
We're adults. We're adult gamers. It's a yin yang kind of situation where you
What's
have
the biggest adult responsibility?
groceries,
Grocery
also
shopping.
hospital bills. Hooray! Games and hospital
we go to
bills.
the hospital all the time.
Well, I need to, but I asked you on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
What do you define as a cookie cutter gaming channel? And we have some answers. Absolute Prodigy, Garbage Human Being says when they add a cookie cutter to it. And to which I replied with a resonant boo. Absolute Prodigy. He was on the last podcast. He's a good friend of mine, so
you can say that?
I can say that. If it was a fan and I did that.
Oh my goodness.
If it was Nikki and I did that, oh no.
You can't boo Nikki.
I can't boo
She
Nikki.
can say whatever she wants.
Which actually brings me to @Commander Nikki. She says, when I say what makes a cookie cutter gaming channel, she says, I understand that the newest AAA title will pull in the most views, but that often ends up with having many channels looking like the same, like made with a cookie cutter. And what she means by that is that this is what I love.
They have the same layout of the way the show goes.
Yeah, and the reason why I love the vidIQ tool is before you even make any kind of title, it will immediately tell you how much competition is on that. So sure, let's say, I don't know, the latest AAA to release or the newest game, Mass Effect Trilogy Remaster, that's coming out soon, right? I hope so. But
I hope so too.
Yeah, right. Ooh, getting hot in here, so freaking EA play. But but let's say Star Wars Squadrons, right?
Yeah.
Comes out. And sure, that's going to get you attention, but guess what? That's also the plan of so many other channels.
Yeah, exactly.
That becomes, I remember the last podcast that you did for Ham Radio, and you were talking about how you want to either review Persona 4 Golden or what was
The Last of Us Part 2?
The Last of Us Part 2, you're right. And you knew that the best way to do it was Persona 4 Golden was going to be the best one because that's got you out of the cookie cutter, whereas everybody's going to be doing Last of Us Part 2. Everybody. But what do you say to that?
Yeah, that's where you kind of get to a point where you know your audience. Like, I don't say this is like a flex of any kind, but I kind of know my audience now when I'll stream Dragon Age Inquisition and we'll hit 205 live viewers. And I'm just like, this game's from 2014. Granted, I've been very vocal on my dislike for it, so I'm sure a lot of people were very excited to just see me play it and see how I react to it again. But that's where you kind of learn your niche a little bit, and and just identify your audience. That's what's so important about it, is trying to make sure that you don't want to confine yourself, but you're loosely within some realm of similarity between everything. Persona is very Japanese heavy. It's very goofy, but it's still a role playing game. It's a JRPG. I'm more of a Western RPG guy, but it's still a RPG. It still fits into that blending of content. I like to think of it as if someone took a sheet and just rolled it out, and it was that whole video list that you see when you click on someone's video section on the channel, that everything would fit into what I think in my head when I think of my channel. My channel, I think RPGs. And so when I roll out that sheet, everything there should try to represent that idea some way, shape, or form. Obviously, sometimes it's let's talk about the PS5 event. Let's talk about EA Play, that type of stuff. But it's all about just identifying your audience, which it sounds hard at first, but it's as simple as really for me, at least, just looking at the view count and knowing oh, this is a weird one-off. When my Last of Us Part 2 coverage did well, that's not an RPG. It's a post-apocalyptic game, I guess, and you could connect Fallout to that, but that's just I feel like such a reach. It's just okay, cool, this did well. Whereas like talking about Borderlands 3, it's like, yeah, this is an RPG and I'm an RPG guy. Like this should do well. This should fit. So I think it's a lot of just audience identification. Did I properly answer that? I don't know. I feel like I kind of went
like as soon as you said that, it's going to like my kind of struggle because I know my audience is a Life is Strange audience.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know straight up. Which is why it was such a blessing to have Dan Hutton on the show. My goodness. She even asked on the podcast, like, I don't know, has any of your audience beaten Life is Strange before I say anything? I'm like,
if they haven't,
sure.
I don't know why they're listening.
But yeah, no, like I know it is, and the 2 sketches that we did so far have been Xbox related, and I know that, but for a reason. Reason being is that I do what I want. No, I'm just kidding. I have Life is Strange ideas in my head, but I want to do them justice. And so I just
we're still working on it.
Right. Yeah. So I knew the Xbox ones wouldn't do so well, but they were just kind of like, let me stretch out. Let me do, a little bit of legwork before I really get into Life is Strange. I have one concept about the controller's a potato, and it's just so bizarre that I'm just like,
you were so excited for that video.
I'm very excited, but I want to do it justice so much. But yeah, but that's the thing. It's like I want to stretch before I do it justice. But at the same time, I know if I want to do those videos well, I have to recognize my audience as a Life is Strange audience, right? Same thing for you, recognizing that as an RPG audience. But let me go into the last answer that I have. First off, when I tweeted out, but we want to hear from you. We'll always try to, we'll also try to define cookie cutter gaming channels, but how do you define them? Let's hear your thoughts. And I even put in a tweet, big rule of thumb, do not add other gaming channels if you think that they're gaming channels, like cookie cutter channels. That's not what this is about.
Yeah.
So it brings me to this first one, Rainbow Road Podcast, puts in, frantically checks your replies to make sure we're not on there. Sighs of relief because I remember no one listens to us anyway. No.
That's so sad.
No, they're super awesome. It's actually, they're 2 gay gamers, right? They call themselves gamers. And I'm like, I am a big fan of puns. So put any pun in front of me, you won me instantly. So
he doesn't care what you're talking about.
I don't care what you're talking about. You
do it.
Yeah, you could insult me through a pun, and you've won me over.
Oh, best friends.
Best friends. But yeah, so check them out, Rainbow Road Podcast. But they also say, seriously though, a cookie cutter game channel will only, and I like this answer a lot, by the way, will only cite the emotions of excitement, boredom. They will never go into how a game truly makes them feel, anything of the in-between. They'll only go on the extremes, like excitement, boredom. Bonus points for talking about graphic fidelity and frame rate, and never once mentioning design and aesthetics. So I like what he's saying there, is that he's going on the extremes, right? But never going in depth.
Yeah. Like really hitting what their personal opinion, like deep connection with it is.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing, is that like the other reason why I loved your video of, the future of Persona is that you could tell exactly how Matty felt in that video. How like his love for Persona.
Yeah.
I know nothing about Persona.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was educated.
Yeah.
Because he went in depth, you know. Oh, Matty, hi. How you doing? I forgot you were there. But Matty, what do you think about that statement?
Yeah, it actually got me thinking. Like I took pause while you were talking. I was just like, those are the types of comments I like to read, because it doesn't attack the creator. It makes me think, am I doing that? Like even there, I had to take a moment to think, like, am I doing that? And honestly, I'm guilty of sometimes just hitting the extremes for sure. And so does that instantly make anyone cookie cutter? No, sometimes a game isn't, I don't know how to word it, but like relevant enough, or do you have enough interest in it to dive that deep? Or do you feel like, let's say I'm making a review.
Yeah.
And if I'm reviewing it and saying like it's a poor game and like it's because of frame drops, I'll mention the frame drops. But if like the frame rate's steady and I'm going to tell people to buy it, I'm probably not going to tell you like the FPS. Like it's just one of those things. Like I'll just be like, it runs fine. Yeah. So that's interesting. That's a good way of putting how a cookie cutter channel is. And I don't know what I could really add to such like a well said statement other than just wholehearted agreement that you don't. Those are the things you want to avoid. Yeah, like all extremes. And because I'm guilty of it, a lot of people call me cookie cutter when I was younger because I mean, part of it was I was probably not old enough to understand a new level of complexity, but I was just like hype man. And only like, and when I say hype man, like everything was sick, everything was cool, like everything's great. There was no like nuance, no criticism involved. It was either like I'm hyped or watch me rage over this Fallout mod. Like it was just one or the other. So that's a perfect way of saying it. It's a game of extremes for sure.
Yeah, we talked about this last time you were on the podcast, and I don't mean to bring this up, but I remember being there when you transitioned, and really the one thing that's, the one and only thing, I'm sure there was many other factors, but when Rags made that video about you, I remember watching that live, and I remember watching your reaction to it, and you started to think about it, and I started to see older Matty, come out of his shell, right? Because I'm, quite a bit older.
You're not that much older.
But I am older, and I just started to see that, like, man, when I was his age, I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah. But
not the reaction. I think if Rags would have made a video about me, please don't, by the way, Rags, if you're watching this. But I feel like if I was your age at that time, which you would have been 20?
I was, just about 20, yeah.
Yeah. If I was
that was around, I want to say fall of 2016. Yeah, so I was like 20. Like just around 20 or 19, one or the other. I was younger.
Yeah, you were younger, and if I was that age and I had, someone call me out, I would have taken it personally.
Oh my
I would have
goodness.
Yeah.
It would have been horrible.
Yeah, and like now that I'm nearing 30, coming closer to the grave.
Oh my goodness.
I start to see things less personally, but at the same time, the way you handled it, and I'm not trying to hype you up, because I'm no longer a fan of you anymore, but but that's the thing. I started to see that was when Matty kind of changed her perspective, and he started to say, maybe I am hyping things up. Maybe I do need to, get out of that. And I'll say it once again. And I said this on the last podcast. If you, by the way, if you're watching this or listening and you keep bringing up the near perfect review, good job. Great pulling up old memes. Wow, so creative. Maybe get out of your mom's.
I saw someone bring it out today as an insult. I was just like, man, like I'm not annoyed. I'm just disappointed.
Exactly. Yeah. No, every time I see it, dude, in the cons, I'm like every time you do a review and it's like, oh, this is a near perfect guy. I'm like, good job. Yeah. Wow. Way to stay relevant.
Golf caught for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably still do the top text, bottom text memes. Good job for you. But yeah, uncivilized swine. But anyways, but that's the thing is that we need to understand that there's those two extremes. And I liked what he said. By the way, Rainbow Road podcast. I liked what he had to say a lot because it struck me deep too. It's like, am I doing extremes even with comedy videos, right? You can be that cookie cutter in a comedy, right?
Yeah.
I even saw it in the very first one at the end of that segment. If game passes a person, immediately saw Caleb City. And I was like, oh, man. Like, it was funny. I'm a comedic genius, but it was still Caleb City-esque.
I think when you're first starting something, especially a new project, you tend to go on what you watch because that's how you learned how to do it. You're like, all right, so this is kind of how it works.
Yeah.
So like, I know when we first started, we always kept falling into the no. We always are falling into like the no format. We're like, we need to stop this. Like, so I think that's part of it. That when you're first starting, you kind of feed off of what you watch a lot.
You just remind me of the one video that we were just.
It was so bad.
My God. I wanna private that video so much, but it's part of our history, and I'm just like, I hate it so much. If you want to see anybody watching and you want to just shame me, it's the Cyberpunk is coming out with 3 different games video. Oh my God, I want to die every time I see it.
It's a horrible video.
It is.
So bad.
But yeah, so wrapping things up. Kind of closing thoughts here. I just want to go through my notes, make sure that I didn't want to hit anything that I wanted to hit. We're making something different. How can we be? Good job, Adam. You're a professional podcaster, and you don't need to review your notes.
You're sitting there reading your notes.
Yeah. What did I have to say here?
Oh, I missed everything.
Oh yeah, cool. But no, basically,
yeah.
Just wrapping up our thoughts here. When we want to make something different, we want to make something new, right? That's fine, right? But what are your intentions, right? You want to be that different personality, but I like what you said, Maddie. Is it because of the viewer count or is it because you want to create something?
Yeah.
Right. And I think everything out of all these things we talked about, the thumbnails, the way the video is, projects like the Persona video that you made, right? And many more like that. Or that Fallout New Vegas video that you made in front of the green screen.
Yeah.
That was different, right?
Yeah.
And I think what it comes down to is your desire and passion to create, right? I don't think that making something different, right, it should be leading to like, excuse me, burp gang, hashtag burp gang. But it shouldn't be leading to like, whoa, which one's going to get me the more views?
Yeah.
We wanted to do the sketch videos because I want to do that. Like it sounds way more exciting to me. Or even the video essays that we did before. It's just kind of like we wanted to do that. And it just comes from a passion to create, right? Rather than like, man, we only have 68 subscribers, which all of you are gems. We only have 68 subscribers. So how can we get 68,000? We need to make a video. Who cares?
They'll come when they come.
They'll come when they come. I just want to create. We're on this platform to create because we have this desire, this deep desire to be, letting out a creative outlet. Lizzie, any thoughts on that?
Lizzie,
Maddie, Lizzie, Atomy, Lizzie.
What was the question?
Any closing thoughts?
Not really. I don't know. I didn't say much during this video, so I don't know. I don't have thoughts.
What about your process to do something different in editing? Because the one thing that everybody applauds you on is the skateboarding video that we did. Is skateboarding coming back? And the one thing I'll bring up is the multiple atoms on my mustache.
that was so fun. That was my idea too.
That was your idea. And I was just like, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
And I'm like, don't worry, it's gonna be great. And it was hilarious, and I love it, and I giggle every time.
But that's the thing. It's like you had this desire to make this weird concept of my multiple heads on my mustache.
I gotta see this.
You didn't watch that? You're not a.
I told you whenever it comes to my sub box, I'm on it.
Yeah, right. No,
we were talking last night. The sub boxes were skunking me, man. They were.
Yeah. A weird thing, lately. And maybe we'll talk about this afterwards. But it's funny that you brought up that only half the people watching you are like half the people are not subbed. Weird thing is, same for me, and same thing for Agent 00. There seems to be this kind of phenomenon going on that a lot of people are facing this half. Are not. Weird. It is very weird, and I want to get to the bottom of it, but maybe at another point.
You need your tinfoil hat.
Yeah. The way I look at that is, I feel like it's because I'm guilty of it too. I always just try to insert myself into like, what would I be doing if I were watching? And sometimes I'll just find videos and they'll just serve the purpose of like, I'm interested in this topic or this guide, and boom, watch, done.
Yeah.
Don't even think about subscribing. Even if the conversation's good, and I'm like, wow, it was a good video. Like, I don't know. What's sad is I almost feel like subscriber numbers, part of the reason why it's hard to crack through is like subscriber numbers are they're like more of you use them in like emails with like business partners going like, oh, hey, I have X amount of subscribers. So like, here's my general baseline of people I can offer to be interested in your product. But it's not like, back then where people were subbing up a storm. You'll still see that, like Review Tech USA. I like his channel a lot. He recently posted a thing showing like, he's got like 870,000 subscribers. And in the last week, he went up like 10, 15K, some like huge leap.
Good for him.
Exactly. Yeah, I like him a lot. So I'm happy he did. And you just see large leaps like that are possible, but they're not like as frequent. I haven't really seen one since right when Fallout 4 was revealed, there was like a 10K leap. I remember like day of 10K. I just remember thinking like, this is like a video game to me. It's just, you just see like the number going up, and it's just like hard to really process. So, sorry, I don't mean to drag on the show at the end here. Just, I feel like,
no, go for it, man.
It's very easy to get fixated on that sub number. Even I really want to break the 300K barrier like this year.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a chance I don't. I don't say that of like, I feel bad for myself or I can't do it. There's just a chance I don't because of how YouTube is now. It's about like, how do you bring in your audience? How do you use the algorithm? How do you use tags, thumbnails? Mm-hmm. Like, it's about the tool set rather than the base you build up. Naturally you'll, like, for you guys, right? You were mentioning 68, like you'll naturally, like, you'll build that up. There's no doubt. But
thank you, man.
It's like how exclusive. I got the EA Play in my mind. How explosive will it be? So yeah, it's a very different beast now than how it used to be.
And I like what Roberto Blake once said. He brought up 3 YouTubers, PewDiePie, and the other ones.
This is the only one in PewDiePie.
No,
and then there's PewDiePie.
No, there was a second one, and then Marquise Brownlee, right?
Mm-hmm.
I forget who the second one was, but he brought up, PewDiePie did this many videos to get to 1,000. Marquise Brownlee did this many videos to get to this point. And his point was that they all have different journeys.
Mm-hmm.
He said that, like, don't be looking at somebody else's sub growth as your story.
Yeah.
That's their story. That's not going to be your story. In the same way, I look at Nikki Jakey a lot, and not so much Nikki, more the Jakey rather than Nikki. But I look at his, and he just exploded, in a certain term, right? But there's definitely people who have really exploded. But I look at his, and like, man, I really get inspired from that. But I need to understand that that's his story.
Mm-hmm.
That's his growth.
Yeah.
That's not my growth.
Yeah.
In the same way, Maddie, once you finally hit the 1 million by the end of this week, that's going to be your growth, and not my growth. But no, that's the thing, is that, like, we need to understand that it's somebody else's story.
Yeah.
Not my story.
Right.
Maddie, any other closing thoughts?
Trying to think, because the worst feeling is you walk away from a great topic and you haven't said enough. I feel like,
dude, I hate that. It's every podcast for me, man.
Yeah, I feel confident. I've tracked everything down, talked about it all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I can offer much other than my thanks for having me on. It was a really good time as always.
Thanks for being on, man. Like, honestly, like,
a pleasure.
Like, every time we talk, dude, like, it's super inspiring, because, like, I feel like we're on the same minds. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's just we definitely have good conversations. I'm like, man, I definitely want him on. I want to give him the honor of being on Games and Groceries. Like,
it is though.
Oh, thank you.
Can't go on any podcast quite like this. I don't get asked onto people's podcasts anyway, so it's not. I don't think that people don't want me, but I don't know if I have enough, staying power, if that's the right term. Enough like drag to be like, come join me, my army, and come invade Games and Groceries.
No, I don't. Like, if you don't wait, like, you've been asked on other podcasts though, right? Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Not really. Yeah, not really. It's not like a. That's the thing. A lot of people ask me, like, why don't I don't mean to make this about myself, but a lot of people ask me, why don't you bring people on your podcast as often? And it's just so different. It's like in 2015, I could ask a voice actor and he'd be like, yeah, next week, man. Sure.
Yes.
But nowadays it's like, let me check with my agent. Let me check the NDA. Let me this, that. And there's just so many. And it's like, I only got an hour. And it's like, I respect their schedule, by the way. Like, they can give me 40 minutes. That's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, there's just, it's so different now. It's so different now compared to how it was. But a lot of people ask me that. And it's just like, getting guests on podcasts is different, because, like, I think everyone's email is being flooded by one thing or another.
Yeah.
That's why I like bringing on people I'm already friends with.
Yeah.
Like I said, there was one with Adrian Hahn, which, like, again, super awesome guy. But I was so stressed having him on, because it was definitely like much more professional.
Yeah.
and he was super nice about it. It's like super game player. But I was just like, I was just stressing out because I was like, does he have the right information? Does he know what time?
Flow like it does when you have your friends on. You were more professional. You were more cautious of the time and everything.
But yeah, like when it becomes, the more professional it becomes with a guest, the more I'm just like, I'm stressing out the whole week.
Yeah.
Like even limited run games, that was a month long like journey, right? Like I had to email them.
Over you.
Yeah, like it was. And that's the thing. Awesome guys. Josh and Doug, super awesome. It's just more stress. Whereas, I can ask on Absolute Prodigy or, Matty. Not so much Matty because he doesn't care about me. But
you're such a drama queen.
But I can just be like, hey man, like you doing anything? And that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just I don't mean to drag myself out. But any other closing thoughts?
I think we're good. I think if we keep asking, it's never going to end.
Closing thoughts? Closing thoughts? But no, I definitely hate that. Like you get to the end, you're just like,
I wanted to talk about that.
Dang it. But so I think this is a good way to end things off. But Matty, again, thanks for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
If our audience hasn't known about you yet, where can we find you? How can we stalk you, Matty? Where are you at?
You can look me up on YouTube, Twitch with MrMattyPlays. Sadly, I'm this is one thing I should have said. My handle on Twitter is not the same as any of my other handles. It's still G27 status. That was my second YouTube channel. You see, like I said, I'm old school. I'm like, this was my roots. This is where I started. I try to hold on to it. I don't think it probably is half the reason it hasn't grown in a while, but hey, whatever. And MrMattyPlays _official on Instagram, although I don't post there, so you guys don't gotta bother. But I am there if you want to see my face a little bit more.
Nice. And I'll have those links in the description down below, whether you're listening on audio or video. So definitely check them out. If you haven't subbed yet, definitely get on that. And if you haven't checked out his video, The Future of Persona, I definitely recommend it. It's 48 minutes, if I'm right.
I think 46. It doesn't matter. It's
around
40s.
that ball. It's in the 40s, but it was well worth my time. I was educated on everything Persona. Like I said, somebody who has never played a Persona game ever. I played a Persona fighting game, Arena. So that's
really.
I did play Persona 4 Arena, and that's because
why? I gotta ask.
I was over at a friend's house, John, and they just had it on their PS. And was it PS3? What game was it? What game?
3 or Xbox 360.
It was one of those. I think it was on the PlayStation 3, and he's like, "You should play this." I'm like, "This is weird." But someone who's never played a Persona game officially, I was well educated. I knew what it was about. I knew what needed to be fixed for the future. So, future Persona, definitely check out that video. I'll probably have that link down below if you want to check that out as well. But with all that said and done, follow us on the social media platforms on Twitter at Gaming Groceries, or follow us on individually. I'm at Ace the Grocer.
And I'm at Journey First.
Find us on Instagram, Games Groceries, all one word. And the Facebook, Games Groceries. You can just find us there and check out our website, gamesgroceries.com. So, with all that said and done, we thank you for watching this week's video. We hope to see you next week. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.